Okay, this is the Andromeda Twin Explorer. This is the $40 aircraft from Andromeda. Very nice little unit. Comes in a very nice box. Okay, comes with the aircraft, charger, batteries for the remote. Nicely done. Now the case I really like. Kind of a briefcase style case. The instruction manual, which normally would be underneath the styrofoam I put on top. It's pretty well written. There's not a whole lot to figure out about how to fly it or anything, but it's a good thing. I do want to point out that they caution you to keep the wind, under calm weather, like 2 to 3 miles an hour. So you don't want a windy day. And Murphy's Law, I bought this on a Friday. It's now Saturday. We have nothing but high winds. Okay, so basically what we have here is the aircraft, and I want to point out we have twin propellers, hence the name Twin Explorer. This one is called the A propeller. There is a little A on the propeller, so watch for it. There's no letter here. I'll just call this one the B propeller. On the bottom side, we see the little hatch for the battery, which is nice, much nicer than using Velcro. And a switch, an on-off switch. I think every aircraft, every model should have that. Okay, you'll notice that there is no servo for the elevator or for the rudder. And the way this works is it uses the varying speed of the motors, a differential thrust, where this will turn faster than this to turn that way, or this will turn faster than this to turn that way. To gain elevation, we increase the thrust and it will tend to climb. To drop, we decrease the thrust and it falls out of the sky. Now, every video I have ever seen of this thing flying, it tends to porpoise a lot. That's just the nature of the design. But it makes for a very simple control system. Now, on the charger itself, it is a USB type charger. You can't see it, but there's a little LED under here. And what I do strongly recommend is get yourself one of these AC adapters to plug it into. The light will light up red as it's charging and go out when it's done. For the field, you could get one of these portable USB chargers like that. But keep in mind, it probably takes about a half hour to an hour to charge. I haven't been able to fly it, so I'm not really sure exactly how long. But you have lots of options there. Okay. This is the remote control that comes with it. Notice they put some foam over it to kind of protect the things. Really nice. The only two controls, thrust, which increased thrust controls elevation. And of course, I would call this rudder, but it's not really rudder, it's the differential. There is a trim control here. So I noticed it tended to turn left when I try to fly real short flights in the house. So I'm going to give it a little bit to the right. When I get a chance to fly it, I'll actually get that trimmed out properly. Fairly easy control to work with, on-off switch. Batteries in back, notice there's a screw there. You don't have to have the screw. You can take it out and throw it away if you like, but if you feel more secure with it in place, that's good. This also has the USB connector. You could take your charger, I forgot, goes this way, plug it in. This is draining AA batteries, and they do not suggest you use nickel metal hydrate or NiCad batteries on your remote, so you would be draining alkaline batteries. Okay, let's take a look at the actual operation of the plane. I'm going to turn this on. We turn this upside down. We turn on the on switch. Oh, good, we have an LED. How nice. Okay, now, when you first turn it up, nothing happens. You have to go all the way to the top, all the way to the bottom to arm the plane. Now it's armed. Now, as I turn this, I can actually feel the differential thrust. Now, again, the engines have to be turning to be able to steer the plane around. So what if you're at zero thrust? Well, Andromeda has thought about that very carefully, and what they did is we're at zero thrust, and I have to make a turn right before I land. Oh, how nice. So they actually thought about it and put it in there where you have this differential thrust. The plane is fairly lightweight. There's not a whole lot of weight to it. And I look over here and it looks like you may be able to at some point adapt a landing gear here, which would be really cool. Then I guess you'll be skidding on the styrofoam, but at least you could, taxi and take off. That would be kind of fun. Now, I probably should not do this in the house. This is one of those stupid things don't do at home. But just because I have to, give it a very short flight. I'm going to give it a thrust towards the hallway and kill power. There we go. Ah, crud. I compensated too much. But at least I didn't break any china or something like that. So for 40 bucks, this is really a great thing to learn on. If by chance you plow it into the street and the truck runs over it and shreds it, you're only out 40 bucks. So if you're learning to fly, I strongly recommend the Twin Explorer. Or if you're an experienced flyer and you get these people who say, can I try it? This is the one you'd rather hand to them to learn how to work it. If you have a friend who wants to try flying, this is the one to hand them. You won't feel so bad when they bash it into a tree. Although I've done this a few times flying it inside and doesn't seem to have too much of an effect. It's fairly low mass, so the point of impact, and the speed's kind of slow, so I'm not too worried. I haven't broken anything yet. Here goes nothing. Oh! So there you have it. Of course, it lands into the window. Andromeda Twin Explorer, definitely worth $40. I do recommend it. Oh, and almost forgot. Be sure to turn off the power. Those switches that switch on the plane is wonderful. I hope all manufacturers do that in the future.